Okie dokie, and welcome wherever you may find yourself. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Just want to say thank you to you guys. Yesterday was another good day, another day that the Muslims had to ask important questions. And the questions we make them ask themselves, these questions are:
they call me James, I reduce them to stutters. All of you lying abusers get hunted. I come with truth and the proof you discover, and I'll give it to you, then you get to running like boom shakalaka. You get to running like boom shakalaka. You get to running like boom shakalaka. You get to running like, where you going, bro? Let's go.
That's right. God bless you guys. Let's just do another recap of yesterday. Yesterday was an interesting day with the topic. This is why we love them topics. Love it. We cause trouble. Causing trouble. Can't make this up. Guys. Tappity tap and share. Look at the trouble we caused yesterday with the Muslims. A guy came up yesterday. He was, he's honest. He was honest about it. I forgot his name. Mufasa. He was honest about it, guys. What did he say? He said clearly, yes. Striking your wife is worse. No, sorry. Eating pork, drinking alcohol is worse than striking your wife. Now, I was just thinking about this whole thing, and I'm going to let them just explain it without arguing with them about it. I think the best way is just to do that. Let's just say, okay, that's what you want to believe. Then believe that. And if that's what you want to believe, then believe that. Because I don't understand, in my little world, I don't understand how it's possible for anybody to try to make it make sense. How do you make it make sense? Crazy, right? And I mean, we've had some good views on the YouTube channel as well. I'm so grateful and thankful to my Lord and Savior for making YouTube, TikTok, Instagrams, the Facebooks, whatever, X, all these channels that we have where it's recorded, where we have it recorded. Alcohol, haram, bad for you. Bad for you. But guess what's not bad for you? Striking your wife. Now, this is just the craziness of this religion. So for those that are just coming in, God bless you. Please tap. Let's get the likes up and let's get the shares up, both on YouTube and on TikTok. I see the same people that support me every day. You guys are first in. God bless you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Appreciate you guys for the likes, the support, the for the mods. Just appreciate you guys. And yeah, man, we learn something new every day. Just when you think you know everything, we can see that in Islam, it is haram to drink alcohol, halal to strike your wife, halal to dingy a child that has not yet menstruated, halal to have slaves. All this is allowed. I also want to apologize for yesterday. Yesterday, I think I was flagged several times in the first couple of seconds, and I don't know. I think I might have got a bit frustrated or angry or upset. So if I said anything, because sometimes I, you in the heat of the moment, or just you say something silly, I just forgive me. You get, sometimes it's just hard, man, when you're trying to walk and there's all this, obstacles in your way, and we're just trying to have normal, intellectual live streams where we are reading and asking honest, genuine questions. I feel. So when TikTok is giving you restrictions, Muslims are reporting, yada, 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 it gets a bit frustrating, gets a bit frustrating, but you know what? We dust it off and we start our journey again. Because remember that there's people that have it worse off than us. I've always said this, I'll say this again. My grandma always said to me, we cry because we don't have shoes until we meet the person that doesn't have feet. So with that said, I just want you guys to know that, again, mine is just a little drop in the ocean, getting upset about just, not being able to have the luxury of going on a live stream when there's people starving in the world. They could eat pork, but instead they beat their wives. So anyways, we dust our feet. That's right. We're dusting our feet. We're moving on. And we're going to see, what this is all about. What is it all about? Because I was doing a bit of reading. And did you guys know that they were worshiping animals? Now, I'm going to read you guys something. This is what I found when it comes to animals and to understanding why, for example, these laws are they for us or not? Because remember, back in the day, just like they were worshiping calves, they were worshiping animals, different animals. Actually, I didn't know that there was more than one animal. There were animals, and there's actually a name for animal worship. Didn't know that. Many animals. And the pigs were included because pigs were not only being eaten, they were being sacrificed as well. Now, again, when we understand this, I'm just giving you this, guys, for the intro while we're tapping and sharing. God was instructing the Israelites on how to follow him. This is what the Old Testament is. And how to remain holy when they were entering the inhabited land by people who were worshiping other gods. Remember, they were taken to this land that was worshiping other gods. Now, when they get to this land, they noticed all these pagan rituals. And remember that they're leaving Egypt, a land where they were pagans, worshiping pagan gods. So in 400 years, this has been sitting deep into their souls. This is deep in them. So they've understood this. Now, what I'm saying is that when they see these rituals of animals and sacrifices and all these pagan things, we have to understand that God is saying to them that you need to differentiate yourself from these people. You need to make yourself different from these people. So God's relating to the people in one way, saying, don't be like those people. Now, the Muslims will say, yeah, you can't eat pork. They don't know why you can't eat pork. They don't know why you can't eat alcohol or drink alcohol. But this is my whole question today. The Old Testament tells you how to start believing and behaving to be in accordance with God. The New Testament, again, is talking about the fulfillment of Jesus that's coming, because the Old Testament and all the things written in the Old Testament, all the things written about him in the Bible points to the full need of Jesus Christ, right? All this points to the need of Jesus Christ in our lives today. So I'm going to read you quickly from the book of Romans, and we're going to start in Romans 7, and this is what it says. And what then shall we say? That the law is sin? By no means. Yet if it had not been for the law, I would not have known sin. So it's talking again about the Old Testament, reminding us what sin is. For I would not have known what it is to covet if the law had not said, you shall not covet. But sin, seizing an opportunity, oh man, sorry guys. First restriction. I'll read it again. Just sorry. First restriction. So it's saying, I would not know what it means to covet, but sin, seizing an opportunity through the commandment, produced in me all kinds of covetousness. So it's telling us now things that you didn't think were bad before, apart from the law, sin lies dead. I was once alive apart from the law, but when the commandment came, sin came alive and I died. So things that were sinning, that were sinful before you had the law, wasn't a sin. Abali, please, I want you to request. So now this is why I'm saying the Old Testament is pointing to something to understand the New Testament. Now, let me just see. She said, forgot to add you marry a child and how you treat women and you promote eliminating peoples. I'm not sure what that means. Would you like to make it make sense? I'll send you an invite. Don't have to come up. I'll explain the topic today because I don't think you understand the topic today either. So now we're just looking at the why we have this in the Old Testament. Now we have to understand it from the New Testament, right? That again, we can see, or Muslims, I mean, they don't understand why they shouldn't eat pork. They say we shouldn't eat pork, but when they go to the verses of the Bible that talk about not eating pork, it also includes camel. In fact, the Quran also says in Surah 6, 146, that the camels are forbidden to be eaten. Appeal not approved. Nice one. So camels are not supposed to be eaten either, but Muhammad eats camel. So it's a pick and choose religion. As always, pick and choose. Now, my question as it was yesterday. You can have part of the camel, Marcus, not all of it. So now the question is as it was yesterday. Alcohol not allowed in Islam. Wife striking, yes. Eating pork not allowed in Islam. Marrying and dingy with a child allowed in Islam. So this is what we're going to go for today. As you guys heard yesterday, Mufasa gave us a very, good explanation. He told us that it is worse to eat pork, to drink alcohol, than beating your wife. And he said, drinking alcohol can lead you to beating your wife. Imagine that. I hope someone clipped that. So drinking alcohol will lead you to beating your wife if you're not a Muslim. But if you don't drink alcohol, you'll be allowed to beat your wife. You cannot make that up. Forgot to share. Alrighty. They say that pork has a worm in it. Well, you show me how many people are walking around with this worm in them, and there's so many people. So now I did a little bit of my 1-minute research, and I was thinking, well, hang on a second. What is worse than eating pork? Is there anything worse than eating pork or drinking alcohol? He talked about you can have a high cholesterol, and he said you can have a greater chance of getting cancer. So my question is, we know that smoking cigarettes has been going on between 3,000 to 5,000 years. People have smoked. What is the biggest cause of cancer? It has to be smoking, or bigger than pork, or bigger than alcohol. So why didn't the God of Allah, the God of Islam, I don't mean Muhammad, I mean the God of Islam, why didn't he say you shall not smoke? If smoking is worse than drinking alcohol and eating pork, why didn't he say that? So as I said, my question again would be for the Muslims, just to make it make sense. Please try to explain to us laymen, us normal everyday people, why is it that according to Islam, striking your wife is better than drinking alcohol? Why is it that sleeping with a prepubescent dingy with a child is okay as long as you don't eat pork? That's my question. Now, I do see Muslims in the chat. I do see you guys coming through. So my question is then for you, because I can't ask Christians to answer this. This is specific and only in Islam. If there's a Muslim that would like to make it make sense, to help me understand, that would help all these other people and all the people coming to YouTube that are watching my videos that may want to find the answers. Yesterday we had no answer. Yesterday answer was yes, it is better. It is better because if you drink alcohol, it can lead you to striking your wife. That's what we learned yesterday. You get a high cholesterol, you may get cancer, but you won't beat your wife, strike your wife. That's what we learned yesterday. That was the me coming out of yesterday thinking, wow, nice one. Make that make sense, people. So if there's any Muslim that would like to join, you're more than welcome to. For those that are not following, please, all I'm saying is that, as always, please follow the YouTube channel, The Agents 007, The Agents 007. And while we're doing that, let me continue in explaining to you guys what the Quran teaches when it comes to eating animals and what animals to eat. And we'll see how even Muhammad that ate camel was told in the Quran, don't eat animal, don't eat camel, don't eat camel. This is what the Quran teaches. Now Muhammad broke another command given from Allah. He broke that again. So again, as I said, for surah in the Quran, surah 164 says, and to those imbued with Jewish doctrine and principles, we forbade every animal with undivided hoof, camels, rabbits, hares. Okay, so this is confirming that yes, you cannot eat camels, rabbits, hares. Now the Muslims are also going to say, yeah, but you're not allowed to eat pig, because the Quran says that you're not allowed to eat, well, they say you're not allowed to eat pig, and Deuteronomy agrees. Pig, because it has a split hoof but does not chew its cud, is unclean for you. That's what we learn in Deuteronomy. But again, the tafsirs of 6164 tells us clearly, Jalalain tells us that it is, and those of Jewry, that is the Jews. So he forbade the Jews every beast with a hoof that is every beast that does not have divided toes, such as camels and ostriches. Camels and ostriches. Tafsir Ibn Kathir on the same surah, 6164, says, we forbade the Jews every bird and animal, such as the camel, ostrich, duck, and goose. Hang on a second, every bird? Is that chicken as well? Because Muhammad ate chicken. Every bird. So the Quran tells us clearly that the flesh of pigs, the flesh of camels, is also forbidden in the Torah. Yet the Muslims consume camel flesh, camel meat, and they also drink the juice. Now, hang on a second. Aren't they guilty of doing the same thing the Christians are doing? But no, they will point to the Christians and say, you're so disgusting, you eat pork. But they'll drink the camel juice. So camels, which are considered unclean for consumption under the Mosaic law, is approved in the Quran. So it's a pick and choose again. Another pick and choose. And now the Islamic scholars, they will conceal these verses. They'll hide these verses because it violates the dietary laws of the Old Testament, the Torah. Another verse in Surah 22:36 says, and the camels and the cows we did not make law, we make lawful for you to use in the event of oblation of thanksgiving in your offerings. They serve as a store from which you obtain advantages in plenty. Therefore, pronounce Allah's name on them as they are lined up, slaughtered, and laid on their sides. You may eat therefrom. Hang on, they just went to the Old Testament saying you can't eat camel, but now you can? Come on, man. Sorry, another restriction, just 1 second. So now, moving on, we understand that if the Muslim tells us that we're not allowed to eat pork or camel or yada yada, notice how they do. They tell us we can't eat pork. Where do we get it from? They'll go to Leviticus, they'll go to Deuteronomy, they'll tell us that you can't eat pork. Lovely, but it also says don't eat camel. Why are they eating camel? But my whole point again is that according to them, if we are supposed to follow all the laws and it's coming from the God of Islam, then they should also be following these laws. Simple as that. Please be Muslim, right? If I'm bringing you up, guys, please be Muslim. How are you, sir?
Hello,
Hi, you Muslim, brother?
I'm not a Muslim. I'm just watch your live every day.
Oh, God bless you, my man. You a Christian?
Yeah.
You from Indonesia?
That's right. Yeah, what?
Are you from Indonesia?
Nope. I'm not in Indonesia. I'm from the Philippines.
Philippines, okay. Almost. I almost got it right.
Yeah, and too many Muslim here in the Philippines.
I
Same
know,
with
I was there
Indonesia.
last year.
What?
I was in Philippines last year. I know there's a lot of
Ah,
Muslims, but there's still more Christians.
yeah, majority Christian, but yeah, more Muslim here because some people there is convert for the marriage.
That's right. No one converts for Allah or Muhammad. They all convert for the what's between the legs of the person they want.
Because they convert for love because Muslim cannot convert to the Christian. If not, they will unalive their family. So no choice.
That's right. What would you like to add, my man?
What
What would you like to add?
what is that mean?
What would you like to
Yeah,
say?
yeah.
What do you want to say?
Okay. By the way, yeah, you are right. But in the Old Testament, it's a what? I in the Muslim forbidden the drunk, right? Forbidden
Alcohol.
the wine or
Yes.
forbidden alcohol, but in the Bible it's allowed, but you cannot drunk.
I know that. I know that I 100% agree with you. But you must remember that the Quran tells us that wine is from Allah.
Yeah,
And then
and
Allah
they
says that
are.
wine is from Satan. So either Allah is Satan or Satan is Allah.
I don't know. I cannot read the all Quran because I was shocked too because in Old Testament it says shrimp, crab, and lobster is not forbidden there, and they follow the Moses. But today they eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. What does that
I can
mean?
explain that. Just give me 1 second. I'm not sure whether it's glitching. What's going on with my internet or my thing? Can you guys hear me?
Can I
1 second, brother. Okay, it looks like it's back again. Let me just see. Okay.
Okay, can I repeat?
Yeah, sure.
Just like wine, just like other shrimp, lobster, and crab is forbidden in Old Testament in Leviticus, but today they can eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. So what does that mean? Because they
So
follow the law of Moses.
that's right. Now you must remember, for Christ is the end of the law. That's what Romans teaches
Yeah.
us. Christ is the end of the law. Because what did Jesus says? He says it's not what goes in you, but what comes out of you that is bad. So it doesn't matter what you eat, it's what comes out of you. It's the fruits of what you share, what you come out of. And this is why you must understand that who the Bible was for and what was the Bible talking to about. That's why, if again, it was talking to a specific group of people at a specific time that would have understood why, the God of Moses was explaining this to them, and they would understand what effect it has on them. Now, it wasn't only pork, it was all these things, because again, they would understand. Now, remember, the Old Testament is extremely important for us today. It's extremely important. As it says, this is pre-Jesus. This is before Jesus' time, to let people understand what the laws were and how the cleansing wasn't what was going into your mouth, but what came out of your mouth. So remember what it says again, because again, if we read again from the Bible, you must remember it's telling us that in Colossians it says, therefore do not let anyone judge you about what you eat or drink, or about the observance of a festival or of the new moon or of a Sabbath. Those things are a shadow of the things to come, but the reality belongs to Jesus.
Yeah.
So Jesus tells us it's not what goes in you, it's what comes out of you. And these laws, again, remember back then people were doing it was to show separation from the other people. So when they were coming into the promised land, they had to show that they weren't the same as the pagans. Remember, there was paganism, there was moon worshipping, sun worshipping, star worshipping. Look at Islam. There was animal worshipping. So what they were doing was they were saying, don't be like these people. Separate yourself from these people and show them that you are different. And by separating yourself and showing that you are different, they will be able to identify you. They will know who you are. And because they know who you are, they will know that you are following the true God. For example, I'll give you this. When Jesus was born, they had a star, the brightest star. This is what I understand about the brightest star. At that time, remember, people were worshipping stars, moons, suns. And when they saw this brightest star, remember the three people that went to go see Jesus. These people, they were probably also worshipping stars or worshipping something or someone else, but the star led them to Jesus. So the star worship is saying that you may worship stars, you may look at stars, you may think that the star is your God, but that star is pointing to somebody greater, Jesus. So because now they went following the star, they met the Messiah. And that's why when they got there to worship him. And as a worship, it means that he was greater than the other fake gods that they had. So again, all these Jews had to do was to show that they were different. They weren't following the same pagan gods. They moved. They were saying, we are separate, we are different. And that is why the Bible is telling you. It is in Matthew 15, it says, what will, with that he called to the crowd near and said to them, listen and give sense of it. It is not what enters into a man's mouth that defiles him, but it is what that comes out of his mouth that defiles him. And in Mark 7:18, he says, are you not aware that nothing from outside that enters into a man can defile him? That which comes out of a man is what defiles him. So Jesus clarified, he clarified it. You know, this is not what people eat. He's talking about spirituality. He's saying that which comes out of a man, that will defile him. So the Bible clearly testifies that with the coming of Jesus, Christians will no longer be subject to the law of the covenant, but to the law of Christ. And as such,
Yeah, that is the real
for Christians. Sorry, again?
Yeah, you're right. We are following the law of Christ, not in the law of the Moses.
That's right.
But
it doesn't mean
but the scripture of the scripture of Moses is still important to us.
Absolutely, because you must remember that makes us different to these pagans, because we have these laws. It separates us from the pagans.
Yeah.
They don't have these laws. If they say they have it, then they stole it from us. Anyway, brother,
I can add some
Muslims to come up. Let me see if I can get some Muslims just to get back to this.
I can add some question to again.
I would rather, because this is on YouTube and I want to keep the topic for the YouTube channel. Again, the topic is wife beating is better than eating pork in Islam. So, or alcohol is better than sleeping with a child. So let's just leave it at that, and then we can always come back, right? And share with your Indonesian brothers and sisters, please, my man. Your Philippine brothers and sisters. I know that when I look at my YouTube, I actually see that there's a lot of people in Philippines also watching my live, which is brilliant, and God bless them for that.
Yeah, Philippines is very kind, but there are majority Catholic.
What about you? Muslim.
Yeah, still more Muslim. And what about you?
I'm a Christian, my brother. I'm a original Quran only Christian.
Where are you came? Are you Arabs or
No, I'm
American?
African. I'm from Africa.
African? Ah,
That's right. Okay, my man, you take care. God bless. I'm gonna let me give you a follow there. Porky yummy. That's right. Okay. So if there's any Muslim that wants to make this make sense, remember what I'm saying. Yesterday we had a Muslim come up, tells us, yes, striking wifey, good. Drinking alcohol, bad. Guys, is there anyone besides Heli that says that the live is glitching? Is there anyone else experiencing the live glitching? Anyone else that's having a glitching live? Chris is saying no, nope. Heli, maybe you should leave and then come back. Just drop and then come back. Okie dokie. Beautiful. That's on both YouTube and TikTok. So that's good. And I spent a lot of cash trying to fix up my internets and all the things that I have. So it best be working. It better be working. Spent enough. I could have gone on holiday. Okay, so now that we understand that, again, just remember that the Bible teaches we followers of Christ, and Christ makes it clear as to why we are allowed to eat. And the Quran, remember, in Surah 350 agrees. In Surah 350, it tells us that Jesus, according to the Quran, came to change the law. Surah 350, it says, I have come to you to attest the law which was before me and to make lawful to you part of what was forbidden to you. That's in the Quran, ladies and gents. The Quran says that. And just by the way, as you guys know, I've never eaten pork, ever. Never eaten pork. Someone might have slipped something into my food sometime, but never consciously eaten pork. But I think that I would actually try camel. I've tried crocodile, I've tried all kinds of other stuff. I would probably try camel. I don't know why I'd be afraid of trying pork. I don't know. But man, anyways, now going back, Marcus did 3 times. Yeah, Christians can eat whatever they want. As I said, the Bible tells us clearly it's not what enters the mouth that defiles a man, but what comes out of his mouth that defiles him. Listen to the dawahs, right? I mean, these guys are having dawah drama. Get your popcorn and watch the dawah drama. It's hilarious because these guys have decided that they're going to boycott our lives. They're going to boycott us. But, idle hands is the devil's workshop. So they've got idle hands. So what do they do next? They go fight with each other. They're calling each other the N-word. There's black on white and white on black. I mean, these people are just attacking each other. Get your popcorn. That's right. Because these guys are absolutely hilarious. Especially the mafia boss, Maliki. He's the mafia boss. I mean, when he goes in the room, everyone just jumps for him. They all bow down to him. All these Muzis, they all bow down. Oh, he's entered the room. Anyways, let's just move on. I just want to show you guys how inconsistent Islam is. Because Muhammad, remember, slaughtered camel and he ate it. He ate the camel. But in the same verse, when they go to the Bible, it says camel and pig. Now again, my question again. If Islam teaches in Surah 434, it tells you clearly that if you fear disobedience, that you can strike. That's what the Quran teaches. If you fear disobedience, you may strike. yesterday, and I love it. I need to clip that. I need to send it to my man. And we need to clip that little section there, because he said clearly, yes, it's okay to strike her, and yes, it's bad to eat pork or drink alcohol, because if you drink alcohol, it can lead you to striking her. So in Islam, you just like skip the alcohol and you go straight to the striking. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord, you can't make this up. So now that we understand just a little bit about food and what you can and can't eat, now it's up to the Muslims to make it make sense. So I know he said he's going to come in again today. That was toward the end of the live yesterday. And apologies again. I needed to run yesterday because, you know, life gets in the way sometimes. But yes, please, Chris. Yes, please. That was brilliant, man. That last part was brilliant, bro. We need to clip that one. So what are we doing, man? What are we going to do now? If this is true, what I'm saying about this religion, if it's true, then we have a problem. Let me just find the verses on child beating, and then we can talk about 434 so that we can see if it's just a one-off thing, right? Is it a one-off thing? Was it something that was taught? Is it something that's allowed? And do Muslims practice this today? Because again, this is haram. And you also can have slaves. Slaves halal. Slaves allowed. Not a problem to have slaves. Don't drink beer though. Don't drink wine. But you can have your slaves. Now, if we're looking at all these places, let's just talk about Muslim countries, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Algeria, Jordan, Syria, Libya, Kuwait, Yemen, Lebanon, Egypt, Sudan, Gaza, Tunis, Pakistan, Nigeria, Somalia, Sudan, all these, right? All these countries. Just remember, in all these countries, they are somehow following this law of the Sharia, They're following the Sharia. And again, because they follow this Sharia, we have to understand what they're allowed to do. Now, the Sharia is the law of Islam taught to us by the Muslims, and if we read, we can see that it is allowed. So when we understanding the Sharia, and we see that how this is benefiting only the man, because again, Islam is a religion by man for man, we can see that this is, you know, it's going to continue in these countries as long as they have this evilness, this evil stuff in their books. Now, if we go to the verse that I spoke about, where it talks about striking, it says men are the maintainers of women because Allah preferred some of them over the others. How is that normal? Imagine having two children, a boy and a girl, and you tell everybody, I prefer my son over my daughter. Can you imagine that? I prefer my son over my daughter, walking around, telling people this, you know, willy-nilly. I prefer my son over my daughter. My son, my only son. Daughter, get out the way. Let my son come in first. This is what they want you to believe, that this is how Allah looks at the boy, the male in this religion. He's been lifted up and elevated because he is just a boy. Now the Muslims say, oh, we gave woman peace and we gave her the rights. Yeah, you gave her the right to be beaten, the right to be put in her place. Now, remember that the Quran is teaching us that men are above the woman again. And he's saying that the women are good, those that are good are therefore obedient. Isn't that lovely? It's beautiful. Guarding the unseen as to Allah has guarded, and those to whom you fear disobedience. You fear disobedience. Admonish them and leave them and strike them. But please don't drink alcohol. Please don't drink. So this Quran is telling us now that the men are in charge of women, these sober men, not drinking alcohol. That they will protect them and maintain them, these sober men, not drinking alcohol. But one of the things that happens in outside of Islam is that you may drink alcohol and it may cause you to strike your wife. I am a married man. I know many, many, many married men. And all of my friends have had alcohol, gotten themselves so tipsy that they could hardly even focus. Not a single one of them, not a single one of them went out and went on a strike. Not a single one of them. Because I would react if any of them ever did and if it ever came to light. But none of them ever did this. And they all drank alcohol. I know a few from Somalia. Yes, they do drink alcohol too. You know, they pretenders. And yet, one of them actually, I had to 434 him when he came and told me how he 434'd his wife. And again, he's Muslim. He's a Muslim. So my question to you Muslims again today is, make it make sense that drinking alcohol, haram, bad for you. Striking your wife, good for you. Please, any Muslim, please, Muslims request, any Muslim that wants to make it make sense that eating pork, bad for you. Marrying and sleeping or dingy with a child, good for you. Make that one make sense. So there we go. Or even owning a slave. It's better for you to own a slave than to drink alcohol. Any Muslims? Any Muslims? Now, remember what the Quran also teaches. If you disagree with any of this, you are a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. If you disagree, you are a hypocrite. And the Quran teaches that if hypocrites are those in whose hearts there is sickness and there is scandal among the mongers in Medina, do not desist from their vile acts. If you are a hypocrite, you go against the Quran, you're a hypocrite, and we shall urge you to take action against them. This is from the Quran, Surah 33:60. It's telling you, if you're a hypocrite, if you side with the non-Muslims, if you go against the Quran, if you find something wrong in the Quran, it's telling you you're a hypocrite, and we shall urge you to take action against them. Talking to Muhammad and the Muslims, you must take action against anybody that doesn't believe, because it's telling you that they shall be cursed from all around and they shall be ruthlessly unalived wherever they are seized. The Quran is telling you that. If you are a hypocrite, if you go against it. So my brother that came on yesterday, he's saying, what was his name? African that came up. So African came up and he said he can't accept this, meaning he's out of Islam, he's a hypocrite. Actually, let me share this with him. 1 second. What did I say? His name was African. Because I think he needs to listen to other Muslims if they dare. If they dare, but we know they don't dare. I found him. There we go. That's right. So now, if they dare, I want people like him who's on he's probably left Islam by now. He's probably left Islam because he's the Quran is saying that if you are a double face, if you are, if you now have walked away and you said, and I can't trust, I can't believe this, I can't follow this. He's saying clearly, if you can't, you're a hypocrite, you're out of Islam, and then the hypocrites will be found and unalived wherever they are seized. Because the hypocrites are those who renegade from Islam, but also to those who fail to conform to the teachings or the rulings of Muhammad, Allah, and the Quran. So this is all Muslims that go against it. These are the rebellious, tells us clearly. Because remember what the Quran also says, the Quran teaches in Surah 58:22, it says, you shall not find a people who believe in Allah and the latter day befriending those who act in opposition to Allah and His Messenger, even though they were their own fathers or sons or brothers or their kinfolk. So what Allah has done now, he's saying that all these people that go against, if you associate with them, you are one of them. Now, this guy that came on yesterday, he agreed with us. He's literally telling the people, I cannot accept that alcohol bad, striking good. Pork bad, dingy with the child good. Owning slaves, good. Pork and wine, bad. This is why common sense, anyone that's listening to this that is not a Muslim Christian and is thinking about Islam, or any Muslims that are sitting back there listening in, ask yourself, how can the God of Islam focus on alcohol and wine when he says, Allah says that wine is from him? The wine is from him. Yet smoking, cigarettes have been causing cancers throughout the years. Allah forgot about that one, because smoking has been going on for at least 3,000 to 5,000 years. But Allah didn't think about the smoking. What did he think about? The dingy. Oh, Muhammad, you need another wife? Fix. Go to that town. Muhammad, you need another child? Fix. Can't make this up, guys. Where are the Muslims at? Answer. My questions are not difficult questions. I mean, any preschool adult will tell us, give me an answer. Any 6-year-old adult or 9-year-old adult will be able to answer this question. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. You got a Muslim in your chat or you that you're following, send it to them so we can get some answers. Just send it to them, and I want people to notice that all we do is ask questions, and what do they do in return? They stutter. They show us why you can't or shouldn't be a Muslim. Why being a Muslim is like, shooting yourself in the foot. And I just go read. So now we can see that according to Islam, 434 is not a problem, right? Not a problem. In Islam, it's not. Now let's go to a hadith that we spoke about yesterday, where it tells us clearly that when this person came to Muhammad, right, in Sunan Ibn Majah, 1985, the Prophet said, do not beat the female slaves of Allah. The slaves, don't beat the slaves of Allah. Then Ummah came to the Prophet and said, O Messenger, the women have become bold towards their husbands. So order the beatings of them. So they were beaten. Then many women went around to the family of Muhammad the next day, and he said, last night 70 women came to the family of Muhammad, each woman complaining about her husband. Now, why complain? Why, if it's ordained by God, and these women knew that it came from God, why complain? Because then you are basically going against a command from God. Now, the Muslim didn't understand this at the time, neither did Muhammad, neither do Muslims today, that these women, the wives, were going against God. And maybe this is why Allah said that they're deficient in intelligence and religion. Maybe this is why Allah said that there's Satan in them, the devil is in them, the evil omen is in them. Because they questioned, they were going, hang on a sec, why in the world am I being, smacked about? Why am I being beaten? Why am I being, treated like this? Why? What is going on? Make it make sense. Alcohol, haram. Wife beating, allowed. Pork, haram. Dingy with the prepubescent child, allowed. We've got this one. We've got another Muslim that just joined, guys. Hang on a sec. Man, you just come up. I got my first hate speech.
Really?
1 second. Yeah. Hang on 1 sec. Sorry, man. Yep. And man, it happened yesterday after 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Yeah, bro. This app, I'm convinced it absolutely hates you, bro. I don't even think it's the Muslims anymore. I genuinely think it's just the app, bro. I think it just knows your voice, and it's like that James guy is doing it again. Let me go ahead and I'm like not even trying to be funny. I'm so serious. I think it just hates you.
Well, yesterday and the day before, I actually went on with my backup accounts. I lost my backup account for hate speech. Yesterday, I lost my second backup account for hate speech. So that's why I changed the picture as well. So I'm trying to keep it absolutely kosher now. Halal. So I don't get hit. But man, you missed yesterday. Let me give you a quick breakdown. So yesterday, Mufasa came on the live and explained to us why 434 is better than drinking alcohol. He told me why. He said,
Okay.
because if you drink alcohol, it can cause you to 434 your wife.
So, dude, so it's better to not drink alcohol
and
and strike your wife than it is to drink alcohol and strike your wife because you're inebriated.
that's
So
right.
if you make it, James, I gotta be honest with you, man. That's why, like, I've been here in like a little. I cannot take, bro. The Muslims, my God, you can't be serious.
I'm
Like,
not kidding, man. I'm not
bro,
kidding.
I've just been like focusing on learning like my religion and trying to get a lot better with like the philosophical arguments because that's what the Muslims are doing now, unfortunately, and the church fathers and stuff. Bro, I cannot sit here and listen to these guys. Like being just stuck in this religion and listening to them all day does your head in.
Oh,
I don't know how you do it, dude.
there was
My
another
God.
reason. It's because eating pork can give you cancer. And because you can get cancer, it's better to strike your wife.
But what if you just get cancer? Like I know, I don't even know why I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm sitting here arguing with myself, trying to make it make sense.
Watch this. So every Muslim that has got cancer has eaten pork. Did you get that? Because again, they try
No,
to say
yeah, I
that
mean,
because
that's
the
their
result of
logic.
eating pork
Yeah,
is
I
cancer.
understand. That's their logic.
I know, it's crazy.
How do people stay in this religion, man? Like, I just don't understand. Like, why would you want to stay in this religion?
But again, notice we've learned a lot. We're actually learning from this, right? Because now we know and understand that there are limitations, or there are. Let me see how my phrase say this. So eating pork. So again, if the understanding of the Muslim brain teaches eating pork gives you cancer, therefore it's better to strike your wife. Then every Muslim that has cancer has lied and eaten pork, and therefore can still beat their wives.
Did you bring that up to him?
No. I honestly had to run because he came up at the end of the live, and the Muslim that came on before the live, couldn't make sense.
The best argument, and what's going on, Sasha? The best argument, the best argument that they can give, and if I was a Muslim, this is just what I would say, and like the like we just believe differently. And then from there, you can kind of like make arguments against why the Christian worldview kind of accounts for these things better where this is concerned. But you are already off to a bad start by coming up and just lying about, like, just be honest. Just take it. Yeah, like my God lets me do this. And this is just what I believe.
Yeah, sorry guys, I was just changing my VPN. See if that will help the algorithm. So Sasha wrote that in the chat.
Guys, shortly, James, if you're using VPN or something, just change your IP address. I suppose when people are reporting you, TikTok will not just record like your profile; it will record probably your IP address or something, so Norway or something like this. So change it, for example, to Sweden or to Russia or to England or to Serbia, whatever, and I think you will have less problems.
I tried
They
it
do
now.
this
I just changed it now, so we'll see if that works. But yeah, man,
different
I
countries.
normally
Just
change
change
the
to different
VPN.
country. Yeah. Change to different country. Because believe it or not, I was pulling up a lot of sources from Islam QAs to show it to Bosnian Muslims from Balkan basically. So one of these garbages, he literally wrote to the recension, to the people who do recension of Islam QA to block my EP address. So I couldn't approach to Islam QA. As soon as I changed my IP address with my VPN, I used VPN then, I could access easily. So they literally wrote to the people who are running Islam QA to block my IP address. So I would not be able to approach their page.
Crazy.
They are doing a lot of this crazy stuff. Believe me, guys. They are doing a lot of this crazy stuff.
Well, of course.
But they're doing it peacefully, aren't they? Religion of peace.
Yeah, peaceful. Yeah, man. And that's why, like, with this religion, dude, like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I cannot. And it's funny because, like, I've been studying kind of like their philosophy, like, just a little bit in juxtaposition with ours. And some of their philosophers make sense. Like, I'm not like, they're not like, dumb, but like, I don't get why when we talk to like 90% of them on this, I think it's just this app, but it's like they act like they don't have any intellect. And I don't know if it's just because they don't want to believe what their religion teaches, or if they just know what it teaches and they just want to lie about. Like, I can't figure it out, man. Like,
So let me
It's both.
disagree with you on that, because
Both.
again, I'm also reading, right, and I can see that they are the Muslims that have given us books and stuff. Take Ibn Ishaq. He does a good job. He does a good job in explaining and writing down. And you'd assume, like, one of the Muslims came up yesterday and said Ibn Ishaq said this. So I said, well, if we accept Ibn Ishaq, we have to take all of Ibn Ishaq. And if we take all of Ibn Ishaq, we have to accept them to be true, since you are quoting something he said to be true. But then they go back into the full Muslim mode. It's like, no. We can only take this from what he said. I'm like, come on, man.
well, and then the crazy thing about it is, like, when you read like Ibn Ishaq, and he says, like, oh, Muhammad received the satanic verses. He says that Muhammad set Kinan al-Rabbi, his chest on fire so that he can get the treasure. When he says that Paul was a true messenger sent by Isa. When you look at all of this stuff in here that they deny, if you put yourself in the shoes of Ibn Ishaq or Ibn Hashem, you realize that the reason they say these things is because they believe that they're proofs for Muhammad being a prophet. So it didn't embarrass them. They're like, yeah, like, he did this stuff. This proves he's a prophet. But then you get to 2025, going into 2026, and you'll explain this to the Muslims, and they'll say, no, I don't believe he did that. And then you'll say, well, what's the reason? It's just because I don't like how it sounds. It's like, what? Like, that's not a reason. But you can tell that the Muslims during that time, they affirm these things because they believe that this proves that he's a prophet. And that's all we're asking you guys to do. Like, bro, like, stop denying your sources.
Trust your Allah. It's like, I've been asking for the last week now. Can you guys please trust Allah? Can you please lead with Allah? If I read the verse, it says, no, look what the hadith says. No, look what the tafsir says. No, look what this says. No, look what that says. I'm like, dude, let's please just read the Quran first.
Yeah, it's like
That's
that day. It's like that day you had that guy come up here and you tried to go to 1094, and instead of reading a verse, he immediately went to the tafsir. And you're like, well, hold on a second. Like, shouldn't we read the verse first? And he was like, well, we take tafsir and we take Quran. And we're like, but you didn't even read the Quran. Like the Quran is the primary source. You need to take that first. No, 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 I don't have to. And he just would not read the verse. I'm like, why are you afraid of your book? Just read the verse. But they don't want to read it.
That's why yesterday was brilliant when I had Mufasa, and he was literally, he wanted this hadith that I read now about beating wives and stuff, where it says that you can strike them, and because they were being bolden towards their husbands, yada yada. And then another Muslim that came on before that was like, at least we are told how to do it. He said no, it's not allowed to strike. No, he said you're not allowed to strike them. Then he said, but we have a hadith that tells us how to strike them.
If we choose to.
And I said to him, so then you are allowed to do that. And then he just started, because he caught himself out.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to them, sometimes people use the word, and I get why they do this, but sometimes people use the word beat and strike interchangeably for that verse. But it doesn't really say to beat them. It says to strike them. So, if you fear disobedience, then you can strike them. So it doesn't actually say like, oh, but you can strike them. And if you'll talk to a Muslim who actually kind of understands the distinction, they'll say, no, we're not allowed to beat them. In that aspect, I'll agree. It says but it says you can strike them. Now, I mean, you tell me, if you strike your wife, I mean, even if you hit her one time, will you still get charged the same way as if you maybe hit her 2 or 3 times? So, I mean, I don't think you should do that at all just because you fear disobedience. Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, how do you know that you're correct in that she was going to disobey you in some kind of way? You're not God. So how do you know that?
Well, that's why we're hoping that please Muslims request, if there's a Muslim that wants to come up and just make us understand, because Amin wasn't here yesterday, or neither was Sasha yesterday when we were told this. So all I'm asking is for some understanding. Make it make sense and explain to everybody that's listening. There's nearly 100 people on this and over nearly 50 people on YouTube. Please come and explain this to us. Make it make sense. Tell us, why is it okay to strike the wife but not drink alcohol? That's an honest question. People are honestly looking for some kind of explanation. Let me read from the study Quran. This is what it says when it talks about explaining this verse. Now, yesterday, remember that some guy said, let's go and see how it's done. So he's not saying it's not allowed to be done. He's saying there's a way of doing it, right? So they're not saying no, they're just giving an explanation. It says, this verse is a clear statement of a man's role and authority in the marital relationship as head of the household in relation to his responsibility to provide for his wife. Other verses suggest mutuality in the relationship between husband and wife. But the verses indicate a hierarchy from a certain perspective between the two, at least on the social plane. This verse validates that men are the upholders, the maintainers of women, or guardians, although not in the sense of guardians over minors or the mentally incompetent. And this has traditionally been understood to mean that the men are entitled to accept certain kinds of behavior on the part of their wives, and that they would have the right and duty to supervise, educate, and discipline them. This is from the study Quran. And it says to command or prohibit them. So the husband controls the wife. So it says men have this position by virtue of that in which God has favored some of them over others. Again, this God of Islam is saying, I prefer men over women, which, because it repeats the most identical phrasing, likely refers to men's greater share in his inheritance, relative to women and by virtue of their spending from their wealth, that is, to support the woman. Thus, many interpret the verse as referring to greater financial assets of men and their spending of their assets on the bridal gifts and maintenance, yada, yada, yada. Then it says for Ibn Ijaba, this is acquired authority since men are more authoritative position in the marital relationship. Then I want to just find the part where it says you can strike them. Then it says righteous woman, blah, blah, blah. Oh, righteous woman, righteous wives are those who are devoutly obedient. That is, obedient in a spiritual or religious sense. So now he's saying, you don't have to be obedient to the man, as long as you're obedient to God. And then it says, given the context of the verse, most commentators gloss kanitat here as women who exhibit obedience, generally including or especially to their husbands. However, it should be noted that other instances in the Quran denote obedience to God as well. Now, moving on, it says, from those whom you fear discord and animosity refers to those who have demonstrated these things through their actions. Through their actions. To fear means to know. In other words, it refers to demonstrated hostility, not merely the suspicion of suspicion thereof. Let me get to the main part. It says, in the face of woman committing something, a husband is given a set of 3 sanctions to correct her behavior. So now we get into the crux of it. This is why in the Quran you're allowed to strike your wife. These 3 sanctions are commonly understood as progressive, meaning that husbands should begin with the verbal correction. That is, they should remind their wives of their religious duties and obligations in the marriage. In other words, if he wants to have dingy dingy and she say no, the angel's going to curse her till the morning. Then it goes on. If this does not succeed in changing the wife's behavior, the man may leave in their beds, usually understood to mean refraining from dingy dingy with them. Now, most women would be like, oh, thank goodness I get a night off. But in Islam, they think it's punishment for the man, for the woman. Continuing. A minority tradition indicates it remains aloof from them and refuse to speak with them, and some permit men to have dingy dingy with their wives without speaking to them in this occasion. So it's like, you want to have dingy dingy with your wife. You want to have dingy dingy with your wife? What do? You give her some sign language. You take your one finger, point it through the other hole in the other finger, and you're like, because you're not talking to her. So if you want to have dingy dingy with her, you can, just don't talk to her. However, it is interpreted such staying away from one's wife should last no longer than 1 month. Oh my goodness, 1 month you stay away from her. Now you got 4 wives, but it's okay. Following the prophetic precedent. Now, because refusing to share the bed of a wife who is already averse to a husband may serve to encourage or reward rather than deter her negative demeanor towards her husband, some commentators argue that this sanction should be meted out with simultaneously with the 3rd action of striking her. This last, and now guys, I'm reading from the book called the Study Quran, the explanation or the commentary of the verse where you're allowed to strike your wife. This is the explanation given to us through the commentary. So not only must you stay away for her for a month, but in that time you can also simultaneously consider the 3rd action of striking her. This last action is directly related to an occasion for the revelation of the verse. So there's a reason for this verse. What is the reason? It was reportedly revealed in relation to a woman or her family who came to the Prophet complaining that the husband struck her. The Prophet immediately ordered retaliation against the husband. This verse then, the verse that now allows you, the dingy dingy as to the striking, now says that this verse was revealed allowing a husband to strike his wife in certain circumstances. So it's allowing you. And the Prophet aborted the retaliation, saying, I wanted one thing, Allah wanted another. So the explanation, sorry, go on.
Alhamdulillah, Allah is all merciful and also all merciful.
That's right. So now, according to this, according to 434 in the commentary, guys, the commentary, we can see that yes, you are allowed to strike her. This is what it says. Now it goes on. It says, perhaps considering the Prophet's own dislike of husbands striking their wives suggests it is widely transmitted report as well as reports indicating that he never struck his own wives. So this is a report, but we know from a Sahih Muslim, Muhammad did strike his wives. Commentators generally indicate that striking one's wife is to be used only as the last resort. Now, but remember, it is still allowed. Don't drink alcohol, any way, shape, or form. Not at a party, not for one night, not on Fridays, not once a year at Christmas, not when Muhammad died, to celebrate the, whatever you celebrate, the Eid. Not even once a year are you allowed to drink alcohol. But according to this, you can strike your wife if it is the last resort. So this month, it was the last resort. Next week might be the last resort because it's still allowed. And some prominent legal scholars, including Al-Shafi, considered it to be something avoided because they had better morals and understanding than Allah and Muhammad. Some have indicated that it is justified only as a means of avoiding the more painful, the socially painful consequence of divorce. Now imagine striking your wife into obedience just to stay married to her to avoid divorce. So this is saying now that there's an interpretation is consistent with the following verse, which stipulates that serious efforts should be expended to try to reconcile and avoid divorce. Now, if you struck your wife, are you going to reconcile if she's thinking of leaving you and you strike her? Is that going to make her want to come back to you or want to leave you even more?
I drink coffee every morning, and sometimes my wife cooks breakfast. She'll make me something, or sometimes she'll put the water on for me while I do the other stuff. I think if I was to do that, she would probably, while she's making my coffee, she'd probably put arsenic in it. So, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
But you wouldn't be divorced.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to stop a divorce. Yeah, sure. She'll divorce me, but in a more orthodox way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but this is saying if you strike her, it avoids divorce. It's a sign of reconciliation.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you at that point, wouldn't counseling? I'm just trying to brainstorm this. Wouldn't going to your local mosque, maybe talking to the imam, maybe talking to a sheikh to figure out hey, is there any, can you help us with this? But maybe that's not a good idea because if you go to the imam or to the sheikh, they'll probably read the same sources you're reading. So,
or it'll be like Uthman, he'll take your wife.
That's true, yeah, or maybe like that. So
just ask Abu Adnan. He went to Uthman, guys. This is true story. Abu Adnan, the guy that goes live on TikTok, went to Sheikh Uthman, and they went for counseling. And Uthman took his wife. Uthman, the guy that was debating logic, Uthman, the one that does all his stuff, he took the man's wife. He took the man's wife. He married her. That's right there, Dre. He took the man's wife. And Uthman's been crying for 2 years on his chat about how Uthman took his wife while she was still married to him. Now, the Quran is teaching us, the explanation, the commentary is saying that the commentators are unanimous in asserting that to strike here refers only to a moderate and non-injurious form of physical force.
Yeah, some commentators even say you can do it, just don't break bones. and don't like strike the face. So like, I mean, so I can just beat her with a sack of potatoes? Like,
You
I
know,
mean, because those don't leave bruises.
old phone book. Remember the phone books? You
Yeah,
just
dude. You just put them in like a little pillowcase sack and just start hitting her with it.
Yeah, but guys, you must understand. We are Allah is infinite being, okay, but we are finite beings. We are not perfect. We cannot understand Allah's wisdom behind this. We miss hikmah, brothers. You know, I mean, what is wrong with these people?
Let me read some more.
Sorry.
This is what it says. It says, when you beat her without violence, using language found in Hadith, it says, without leaving a mark. Now, this goes against what Aisha said when all these women with their green skin came to her and said, and Aisha said, I've never seen anyone suffer more than the believing woman. But look what it says. This Hadith is based on the Hadith that lists the rights that woman is owed from a husband. The husband is owed, he has to feed her, clothe her, and he must never strike her in the face or mar her beauty. So he can strike her anywhere else, but not the face. But remember, when the guy came to Muhammad and explained 434, the reason for revelation, she was struck in the face. And nowhere in that do we find Muhammad saying, don't strike the face. In fact, Muhammad just said, I wanted one thing, Allah wanted something else. Later, 200 to 300 years later, we now have a hadith saying, don't strike her face, don't mar her beauty, and that she is not about to be abandoned. She needs to stay in the house. So some commentators assert that the striking should not even cause pain. This is why Ibn Abbas explained that it means hitting with a siwak. Now, I showed a picture yesterday of a Muslim man with a siwak in his hand, which was probably a meter long. And he was 434ing all these ninja-looking women. 434ing all these ninja-looking women. Yet, we are learning now, or being told, that the Islamic law prohibits injurious violence against one wife, and some scholars of the Islamic school consider it legitimate reason for a woman to seek divorce. Remember, if the woman seeks divorce, she's also punished for that. She's a hypocrite. So Muslims, I know that you guys are there. All we're doing is reading from the study Quran to try to understand that how to beat the woman, how to strike the woman, how to strike your wife. But nowhere do we find the reason as to why alcohol is worse than striking, why pork is worse than penetrating or dingy with a girl that has not yet menstruated. So if there's any Muslim that wants to now make it make sense, don't tell us we don't read, because now I read it from your study Quran, and I'll read some more, because it says some recent interpretations of strike them seek to avoid the sense of physical striking, hitting entirely. So what the people have done now is that they've realized how disgusting and evil it is to do this to a female. So what do? They're trying to soften it. Oh, don't leave marks, avoid the face, don't mar her. You know, it's like gently touching her. All this because they know that it is an awful, disgusting thing to do. They know this is bad, this is not a good thing. But again, such interpretations, according to the study Quran, I'm reading again, it says such interpretations are not entirely convincing. However, since their wider semantic range of the daraba they invoke is activated only by various prepositions and syntaxes not found in the present verse. To use an analogous example in English, strike him is unambiguous. It means even if strike a balance or strike a pose, the other idiomatic uses of the verb to strike. So again, the study Quran is actually saying, we know you guys are trying to make this soft and palatable and nice and easy to accept, but guess what? We are saying it's rubbish. It's not me. This is now the Quran, study Quran, their explanation. saying that it's nonsense to try to take it away from her. Because what it says I'm reading again, Study Quran says, finally, commentators note that these sanctions, that's the three things that you do to the woman, are understood to be strictly for the purpose of altering the wife's behavior. So it's strictly for altering the wife's behavior. And it says not for punishment. And they are to be abandoned once this behavior has ceased. That's why the end of the verse says, then if they obey you, seek not a way against them. If your wife returns to obedience, then the husband has no right to maliciously or to harm her. Because now she fell in line. She's now back in line. Now, Muslims,
Bro,
don't.
bro.
Yeah.
In Sharia books, I think I have sent you, and it's like nothing what Travis have it. He have 30 of them, I think. If your wife literally refused to sleep with you, or slave girl, it's clearly said black and white. You can force her to do it, and even you have editions of like Sharia books that is translated to English. It said in today's term this is considered rape. So literally, if she refused to sleep with you, you can rape her. Not just hit her, bro. You can rape her.
Yeah, because
she's
not allowed to say no to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's not my conclusion. It's literally in Sharia books and fatwas of the scholars, for example, from Islam Web, which is official Islamic page of government of Qatar.
Are there any Muslims that want to make this make sense? Any Muslims that want to make us understand that drinking alcohol is not allowed in Islam, but your wife not greeting you, your wife not opening and giving it to you, your wife putting a bit too much salt in the food, you can 434 her. Tell me, please make me understand, Muslims. How is it possible that it's okay to strike, but not okay to drink alcohol? Any Muslim. At some point, I'm going to be going through the live to see where the Muslims are, and I will start asking you to request, because we want someone to answer. Again, if I'm going to just keep reading this, it's going to look very one-sided, because it's going to be people that are going to obviously go to the YouTube to see this topic. They're going to think, well, hang on, maybe a Muslim can answer these questions. And then none of you answer these questions. And the Quran teaches, or Islam teaches, that silence is consent. And if you're not going to defend this type of behavior, you are consenting to it. You are saying that you're allowing this. This is fine. There's not a problem with this. So I'm asking you, just so that we can understand and we can, make it make sense, and the people that are listening can make it make sense and understand it. Come on, man. And that's right, DJ. If there's a Muslim woman that would like to come up, especially the Muslim woman, because the men dominate you guys all the time. They control what you say, how you say it. I mean, we saw over here that you need to be subservient. Just because I'm a man, I'm not a Muslim man. I'm a Christian man, and I'm saying to you, you have a voice. Please use that voice. Request, Muslims.
Yeah, and I have additional question to Brother James' question. How is haram to drink glass of wine? I'm not talking about being a drunkard or drinking all the time or being drunk, but drink like one glass of wine or 2-3 glasses of wine when you are celebrating something. How that is haram, but it's not haram to rape your own wife or slave girl if they refuse to sleep with you. I mean, it's crazy. I'm still wondering, where is the logic there?
So I see the Muslims coming in. Again, guys, please, Muslims. This is your topic to do dawah. Your topic to do dawah. You do dawah, you may have a new Muslim, because again, there might be someone going, I need to understand this. And if I understand this, I can, continue being a Muslim, or I can become a Muslim. Because this question again, in fact, let me send this to Good Logic. Where's Good Logic? He's let me see. He's one of those that sit in the backgrounds and he listens to it. So Good Logic, are you listening in? And don't use certain words, man. Let me just see if I can find him. I'll send it to him, because there's him, and then there's a few Muslims that are very open about these things, right? And I just want them to make it make sense, because again, when they explain it, guys, like the guy did yesterday, and they're digging the hole even deeper. It's fascinating to see how the Muslim mind works. I keep saying this. If you want to see something fascinating, it's like, when I can sit on the beach and I'm fascinated at the waves that wash up on the sand, because every single wave is different. Every wave is different. And I can sit there for hours and just look at these beautiful waves coming up. And that's like watching the mind of a Muslim. It's beautiful. You try to make it make sense, and then they'll dig a hole further, deeper, and then deeper and deeper. And the next minute, they're almost in China. You're like, what are you doing that far down? Come back up. Because they keep going in circles, thinking that the Kaaba circle and circle and circle. And after 5 or 6 times, they forget how many times, so they just keep going. So that's why I'm asking, so that these people are they're tired of my voice. They don't want to hear me talk no more. They're literally asking the question, well, what is the answer? They want to know. The people that are listening into these lives are asking the same question as me. What is the answer? How do we understand this? What do we take from this? Where's the logic? Where's the wisdom in this? In fact, that's the good question, the wisdom. What is the wisdom in not eating pork but striking your wife? What is the wisdom in not having alcohol but dingy a girl that has not yet menstruated? What is the wisdom of owning slaves but not having a beer? What is the wisdom behind all this? The hikmah, that's right. And I'm honestly waiting for someone to make it make sense. So when these guys are done with their boycotts and they're running away from all the Christian lives, remember, the only reason they're doing this is not because that they boycotting, it's because they're afraid. They're afraid of the questions that we are asking. That's why I do suggest, if you guys can, please. Yesterday's live, we had a few more Muslims on, and the Muslims, you got to listen to the answers. You got to listen to the answers. The YouTube is called The Agents 007. The Agents 007. All you do is go to my link over here in the bio. You'll find me, The Agents 007. Same thing if you go on the YouTube. You can just subscribe on the YouTube, please. Subscribe. Amin also, if you guys go to his page now and you click on his bio, you'll find his YouTube. Follow that. Please subscribe to that. Just supporting these lives like that with the subscriptions sends these lives out to more people. All I'm asking for you guys to do is, when you see these lives, make a comment about it, share the lives, especially you guys on YouTube. Share the lives, share. Keep sharing the live, because when are we going to get answers to these questions? When are we going to get an understanding of, again, I'll read a Quran verse. The Quran says in Surah 1667, where Allah says that wine is from Him. Wine is from Him, and it is for wise people to drink. It's from Him. Wine is from Allah. Then in Surah 590, it says that wine is from Satan. So I'm just asking, man, so is wine from Satan? That's why you can't drink? Because if wine is from Allah, then you should be able to drink. I'm just very confused. If it's not allowed, then it's bad for you. And if it's bad for you, it comes from someone bad. That would be Shaitan, according to logic. But now we are told Allah made it, but Satan. And you can't have it, but you'll drink it in heaven. So if I look at Mufasa's explanation, he said if you drink alcohol, it will lead you to strike your wife. So in heaven, when they're drinking, or in paradise, they're 434ing their wives there too. Come on, Muslims, man. I'm asking more and more questions over here because I'm more and more confused. My question again, please, tap and share, guys. 125 people. Tap and share. The question is, how is it okay to drink, not to drink alcohol? So alcohol bad, strike wife good. Alcohol bad, dingy with a girl before her first menstruation, good. Eating pork, bad. strike wife good, eat pork bad, dingy dingy girl before menstruation good. How does that make sense to anybody? Anybody? Come on, Muslims. Come on, man. Before I start asking Christians to start explaining these verses and telling us why they think it's disgusting or evil or sad or bad. Come on, man. Any Muslim that wants to make this make sense. I'm honestly looking for the answers. Don't I? Give me the number, Dawn. What number did you get, Dawn? Yep, send it to me. Sorry, guys, just 1 second.
Yeah, I was wondering also. I was wondering, James, why wine, like 1 glass of wine, which is actually pretty healthy, 1 glass per day, not 1 liter, but 1 glass. Why 1 glass per wine is haram, but drinking Muhammad urine from Sahih Hadith is halal? That's the funniest part, bro.
Well, this
And
is
I'm
the
not
thing.
joking.
We had a Muslim up, we can ask these questions, but they boycotting and running. So, but we're gonna just stick to the wine and the striking for now, and then we're gonna do the pork and we're gonna do the dingy with the child. Again, guys, please notice that I'm not asking questions that are evil and bad or awful. I'm trying to understand the logic. I just honestly want to know and understand the logic behind alcohol bad, strike wife good. I honestly want to understand that. Pork bad, dingy girl before menstruation good. Those two, I just honestly need a Muslim to explain those two things for me. I'm trying not to make it, we're not going to talk about, I understand the question is about Muhammad. They drank everything that came out of Muhammad because it came from him. Yesterday we saw that he did ablution with the water, and these people drank the water as soon as he used it because they thought he was God. That's how they treated him. I can make this absolutely awful, but I'm trying to make it so that Muslims don't run back and talk about this blaspheming nonsense. That's why I'm trying to hold the Muslim to 2 simple questions. Seriously, 2 simple. If you see a Muslim in the chat and you're a mod, guys, just now send them a request, invite. Let me see. I'll send people invites now if you're a Muslim. Because again, this is supposed to be your life. This is for you. You guys supposed to be doing all the hard work over here, or the easy work, just explaining it. We are just Christians not understanding your religion. Let me see. I sent it to Good Logic because I wanted him to make it make sense. Because he's got good logic. Yeah, man. This is just crazy. Come on, man. Where you guys at? Muslims. Come on, man. In fact, if you guys are not, I'm going to go now to 465.4. I'm going to read the commentary from 65.4. Good logic. We're going to go to 65.4 and understand it so that we can see the logic behind the dingy with the girl. We're going to see what it actually says and what it means, right? And maybe it'll, go against me, and, we'll see. But again, all I'm saying is that we have the verses in the Quran Let's just make it make sense. So for those that have just come in, God bless you. Remember that the reason that the Muslims are not requesting, the reasons they're not requesting is because they themselves, when asked these questions, they struggle. And you know why they struggle?
They call me James, I reduce them to stutters. All of you lying abusers get hunted. I come with truth and the proof you discover, and I'll give it to you, then you get to running like boom shakalaka. You get to running like boom shakalaka. You get to running like boom shakalaka. You get to running like, where you going, bro? Let's go.
Good one, bro.
That's right. So let's go to the
Good,
Quran
well, James, I
again.
need to go.
Let's go to them to run from this, right? 65:4 says, as for those of your women who no longer menstruate, if you're unsure, then their waiting period is 3 months. As for those who have not yet menstruated, but as for those who are pregnant, their term is until they deliver, and whoever reverences God, he will appoint ease for his affair. Ladies and gentlemen, notice, according to this, it's talking about girls that have not yet menstruated, right? Not yet. So let's read what it says. It is reported that the companion, Ubay ibn Ka'ab, said to the Prophet, people say that there remain women regarding those not mentioned in the Quran, the young and those who are pregnant. Then this verse was revealed. So now look again, guys. The God of convenience jumps to rescue the question, answer the question. What does he say? He says that as the 3 courses for women are no longer to menstruate, or who have not yet begun to menstruate cannot be determined, they are to wait 3 months until the divorce is complete. Notice again, this verse is confirming that those who have not yet begun to menstruate. You see that? It's clear. If I asked you a question, and I said, well, has your daughter begun to menstruate? And you say, no, she has not yet begun to menstruate. That would show that she is still pre-mensa, prepubescent, still not yet. Now, we're not talking again about special cases, but it's okay. Then it says that their waiting is 3 months. If, however, their spouses have passed away, they are to wait 4 months and 10 days before they can remarry. Those who are pregnant are to wait until they're delivered before the divorce is considered complete. If you are unsure, can be seen as a clarification relating to expel them from your houses if you are unsure. So it goes on. But again, it's telling us quite clearly that those that have not yet reached the years of menstruation. Now remember, guys, this is talking about divorce. We are talking about divorcing these girls, meaning they had to be married first. And if they were married, then the consummation happened. If they were consummated, if the marriage was consummated, the dingy happened. That's the only reason you are allowed to wait 3 months. The only reason, because Surah 33:49 teaches us no dingy, no waiting period, no iddah. No iddah. So these girls that have not yet menstruated, who are they? The young. Because these girls have not yet menstruated and they're going to be divorced, they wait 3 months. Drinking wine, bad. Marrying little girl, good. Eating pork, bad. Marrying little girl, good. Owning slaves, good. Drinking wine, bad. Again, this is from the Study Quran. You guys can download it from archive.org. You can download this. It has commentary and it has the verses and it gives you the explanations. All we do is read. It's telling us clearly that the verse is talking those who are yet to menstruate. If I was in a school and I said all those that are yet to menstruate go to the left, I wouldn't say right because left is, the woman. Go to the left. And you get all these 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds moving to the left. All those 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds, according to Islam, can be married, can have the dingy. They can, and they can be divorced. Again, according to the religion of Islam. All I want to know is, how is wine worse than that? How is eating pork worse than that? It's not a hard question. It's not me being nasty or difficult. It's just me trying to understand. Just trying to understand. Remember, according to Islam, it says, I'll read the hadith for you, that if you dingy with an animal, there's no prescribed punishment. No punishment. Let me see if I can find that. Mishkat al-Mazbi, 3586. 3586. He reported as him saying, there is no prescribed punishment for one who has dingy with an animal. You guys think I'm joking, right? You guys think I'm joking. Check this out, man. Check it out, man. Mishka. Oh, wait a second. There we go. Check this out, people. Right? He reported him as saying, there is no prescribed punishment for one who has dingy with an animal. Tirmidhi and Abu Dawud transmitted it. Tirmidhi quoted blah 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 as saying that this is sounder than the first traction. Unalive him who has intercourse with an animal. So he says this is sounder and has learned and act according to this one. That's right. Drink wine, bad for you. Eat pork, bad for you. Dingy with an animal. We'll just ignore that. You know, we know we neither here nor there. We neither here nor there. We good. We good. We neither here nor there. Dingy the animal. Ee-haw. Now you know why they say that the donkeys, when he ee-haws, it's a sign of the devil, because it's the devil coming upon them. Ee-haw. There we go. There is no prescribed punishment for one who has dingy with an animal. Hassan. Can't make this up. That's right. You cannot make it up. But don't drink wine. You want to celebrate that you just got a beautiful job, or you just got a child, or you want to have a nice glass of champagne and celebrate the new year. Nah, it's better to dingy with an animal. It's better to strike the wife. It's better to take a prepubescent little girl and dingy them. This is allowed. This is okay. This is fine. But make sure you do not. Please make sure you do not do what? Drink wine. Just make sure that, please just make sure that, because if you do that, that could cause problems. That would definitely cause problems. Let me see if I can just 1 second. Any Muslims? Yes, no gambling. Don't gamble. Make sure you don't gamble, please. Because if you gamble, you may win. Allah doesn't like winners. He likes the losers. Oh my goodness. Can't make this up. Come on, man. Any Muslims today? Don't be like yesterday, man. Be like yesterday. Yesterday, you guys were trying to make it make sense. Maybe you guys had your little memo come out, and the memo was like, stay away, don't go there. You guys are making a mistake. You guys are making a mistake by answering those questions, because if you answer those questions, it'll cook you. Any Muslim. Come on, man. I'm just trying to copy and paste something over here to try to get a better understanding, to see if maybe I'm the one that's wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the one that's making mistakes, because it has to be. It can't be Allah and it can't be Muhammad. How did Allah and Muhammad get it wrong, guys? They couldn't have. They must have understood. I mean, smoking. Smoking is something that causes the biggest and the largest amount of the cancers in the world, I would say, compared to the alcohol. Compared to the alcohol, I would say it's the smoking. More people. And that would say that if cancer was so bad and so prevalent in the non-Muslim societies because of eating pork, that means every Muslim that has got cancer has got it because they ate pork. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I never known a religion like your one. Come on, man. Marcus, yeah, smoking is bad, because again, you notice the government came up and said smoking is bad. Smoking is bad. Now again, let's just talk about in doses. I'm trying to make it make sense for the Muslims. Muslims, I'm trying to help you now. In small doses, if you drank wine in small doses, not bad. You drank beer in small doses, not bad. If you drank water in large doses, bad. If you smoked cigarettes in large doses, bad. If you drank alcohol in large doses, bad. If you discipline your wife in large doses, bad. But disciplining your wife in small doses, still bad. Equally bad. Because what type of woman that has been dealt with by her man is going to be a sign of discipline, and she's going to be like, oh, this is going to save my marriage. Please, I'm thinking of leaving you. Would you strike me so that our bond becomes stronger? This is what the Muslims want you to believe, people. They want you to believe that if you are beaten, it's going to fix your relationship. Muslims are teaching, they're saying, this will help the bond, help the marriage, help her know her place. This is from the study Quran. This is from the Hadiths. This is explanations. The reason for 434 is that you get closer. It'll save the embarrassment of divorce. Come on, people. Where are the Muslims at? We're still 90-something people over here, man. Where are the Muslims at? I see them popping in and they're popping out as fast as they come in. Are they all still bowing down to the mighty Maliki? Because remember, Malik said it, so you got to do it. Don't forget that when Malik says jump, you don't say how high, you say when can I come down? Because Malik, he is the boss dog. I mean, he's a boss man, isn't he? He's the boss man. You got my Muslim cousin, cooked him yesterday, dropped him. Why? Because he's the boss man. He wants to dictate and control all you Muslims and what you do, where you go, what you say, and if you're allowed to say it. He wants to control you. And because he's controlling you, we're embarrassing you. And notice this, guys, the Dawah drama started as soon as they said, stay away from the Christians. Idle hands, devil's workshop. They stayed away from the Christians, and now there's internal fighting. What they should have done is stayed with the Christians and fought with us and stayed okay as friends. But it shows you how sad and weak they are. They will always fight. Notice this. No Christian is involved in their little circle when they're fighting. This is why every Muslim country there's internal fighting among themselves. Even if the last person that lived on earth, the last person that ever walked the earth was a Muslim, you'd see you'd have a sword in each hand and he'll be fighting himself, because it's in them to fight. Again, they don't need us to fight with. There's internal fighting. They're striving with each other. They're struggling with each other. Christians are sitting just recording and having a laugh. We're mocking them. We're laughing at them because it's funny. It's silly. It's funny. It's a joke for us. And they think by boycotting us and not coming to our lives that it's, hurting us. Nah. We sitting back after this live now. People will watch this live. People will get a better understanding of Islam and why never to follow Allah, His Muhammad, and the Quran. And at the same time, they'll be like, well, let me see if the Muslims are explaining these things to us. They go to a Muslim live. What do they find? Using the N-word, swearing each other, doxing each other, shouting at each other. The language is disgusting. The behavior is disgusting. All in line with Islam, of course. All amongst the Muslims. Just with the Muslims. They don't need us to fight. They're fighting with each other. And they're all supposed to be Sunni. Now, if one Sunni goes against the mighty Maliki, what happens? Oh, you're not a real Muslim. Oh, you were this. Oh, you were that. You're an Uncle Sam. Yama, yama, yada. All of this, why? Because they're not falling in line. So like these dominant Muslims men are doing now, they're trying to 434 the other Muslims into place. But at the same time, they're saying, don't drink wine. We'll just 434 you. It's a joke. We are loving it. Thank you so much, Dawa Daisies. Thank you so much for doing these dances for us. This is the Dawa dance. We're loving it. We're watching you. We're laughing at you. And we are, taking note, making note. And we will remind you when you guys find your peace again and you come back to fight with us. We're going to remind you of how pathetic, useless, and weak you guys truly are. We're going to be having a chuckle. We're going to be sitting back laughing at you like Allah laughs. Laughing at you because you guys are a joke. You think you're punishing us by not coming to us? Nah, man. Yeah, man. Speaking Muslim has decided that he is going to be this arbitrator. He's going to be sitting there, bringing them on the stage, even after Maliki insulted him to the limits, man. My goodness, he was insulted, mocked, and teased. They mock him, and now he's trying to be so deep up the behind of Maliki. He must be like the tampon of the Muslims, man. But he's there trying to make it make sense. He's trying to find the peace. Let's find the peace. I'm just trying to bring peace. If it wasn't me, who's going to allow the platform? No, man, you're too busy kissing Maliki's backside. That's why. And we are loving it. We are 434ing the screen when we see you guys there. We love it. We want to share it. We want all you guys to know it. Here's the version of a male tampon. We're loving it. You guys think by not coming to these lives and defending Islam, you're punishing us. No, you're just entertaining us. And then what do you guys do? Oh, don't go to that live because he blasphemed. What did I blaspheme? The pig? The pig is actually useful. You can eat it. The Muslim mind does that something else, man. There's a whole different thing, man. Is that mind of these people? You think you can try to make it make sense? You can't make it make sense. This is why you think you're punishing us. This over here was just a live for people that are interested in finding out if this is true or not what I'm saying. You guys have not defended it because you can't defend something that can't be defended. And this over here, I don't know what you would say, Muslims, to try to make this make sense. That's right. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. Because these Muslims are showing us. I mean, yesterday I even watched, what's his name? He's okay. What's his name? Was it Creed or one of these other ones? One of these guys. He goes up there and again, Maliki, goes against him, attacks him. Especially when he goes to my Muslim cousin using the N-word over and over, talking about cotton fields, putting them on boats and sending them back where they came from. This is why when I did the live on Monday regarding racism in Islam, this is a perfect example as to why I chose to do that topic, because of this drama day, the Dawa Daisies giving us the Dawa drama. I'm loving it. As I said, man, the Christians don't need to go and be in their lives. We can sit back and just watch them. They think that they're punishing us. Ain't no way. Let me give a last call to any Muslims that want to join. You're more than welcome, Muslims, for wanting to join if that's what you want to do. If not, guys, I think it's time to go and read our Psalm of the day. But just remember, man, Muslims, we love you. We absolutely and truly love you. I could have been doing many other things. I wake up, my days, I try to get in a few hours of my life just to focus on you guys, to give you an opportunity to make Islam make sense. And I think maybe, I'm going to do this for 3 days. Maybe tomorrow's the day that Muslims will, pull out the white flag and go, we tired of fighting each other. Let's go fight a Christian. Maybe then you can come back, and as little Dia says, you can come up and spit your diarrhea. You're more than welcome to do that. Try to make it make sense. But again, we'll see. I need to, this was specific for this topic because we are coming towards Christmas. And when you get towards Christmas, people celebrate Christmas with good food, good drinks, good wine. Muslims think that they can mock us for that. They think that's an opening to mock us. So I'm saying you have a problem with the fact that Christians are able to drink wine and eat pork, but you don't see the problem with wife striking and dingy with the child. You guys see that? You guys Muslims have no problem with that, but you got a problem with having wine and eating pork. Let me just go back now to the Psalm. Let's go back to the Psalm. We are on Psalm 29 today. I did see my brother, who I haven't seen for a while now, Chris Claus. Not sure if he's still there. It's been a minute. I haven't seen. And again, the closer you get to Christmas and, people not being at work and stuff, there's lots to try to sort out and fix. So, I'm trying to still do my other stuff outside of doing this live. So that's why I do apologize that it's a little shorter, especially now in December. You guys probably noticed, but it's because there's other things to do than just do this. But soon I will have, hopefully, the more Muslims join and we can get some good topics. We're going to go back to one of my favorites, and that is free will in Islam at some point. But right now, just remember, when you celebrate Christmas, and if you celebrate Christmas and you are having wine and pork, just think of it like this. You are sitting in your home, having a glass of wine, eating pork, while in the Muslim house, there is a woman potentially being 434'd and a child being dingy-dingied in the name of Allah. So if you think that the wine you have isn't tasting as good as you'd hoped, think about that Muslim household. In that house, there's a child being dingy-dingy in the name of Allah. If you think that the pork was overcooked or too much of salt, just think, in a Muslim house, there is a woman being 434'd in the name of Allah. Don't forget, because when they 434 the wife, or when they are dingy-dinging the child, they have to say Bismillah. Bismillah. Muslims, you're still welcome to join. I'm going to start reading Psalm 29. We are on Psalm 29. If I'm not mistaken. 29. It says, let me have some water. You guys have not been telling me to stay hydrated. That's bad. Okie dokie. It says, ascribe to the Lord, O heavenly beings. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Worship the Lord in splendor of holiness. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. Lord over many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord breaks the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon to skip like a calf, and Sirion like a young wild ox. The voice of the Lord flashes forth flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness. The Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord makes the deer give birth, the stripes and the forest bear. And in his temple all cry, glory. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned as king forever. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. And who is that peace? Who is the Prince of Peace? Who brings us peace? That's right. That's Jesus. When it ends over here, it says, may the Lord bless his people with peace. He's blessing us with Jesus. And that is where we get our salvation. That's who taught us love, forgiveness, and he is our salvation, and to him we should turn. No one else. So when you guys are sitting down, enjoying your dinners, enjoying your wines, in moderation, of course, just remember that you allowed to enjoy that, because it's not what goes into the body that defiles a person, but that which comes out of the body that defiles a person. That's why in Islam they can stay away from pork, but look at the behavior of these people. They can stay away from alcohol, but watch the behavior of these people. So I would rather drink alcohol, eat pork, than 434 my wife, or dingy my child bride, or even own slaves. This is why no Muslim will make it make sense. I don't give a continental hoo-ha. Thank you. Sorry, dude. I will do. I'll check it out. So I don't give a continental hoo-ha as to what excuse a Muslim will make about how he's going to justify this. Totally up to them. That's right, Fisher. It says that Xmas will be a non-alcoholic champagne. I'm not saying drink, guys. I'm not advocating alcohol, but I'm saying that if you do drink, you need to be, in full control of your senses. Don't drink to the point that you have no control of your senses. Remember what the guy said yesterday. He said people that drink or wine and alcohol will lead them to strike their wives. But in Islam, without the alcohol, they still strike their wives. You can't make that make sense. You cannot make that make sense. And this is why my invitation again is to all Muslims. I pray for all the Muslims that are passing through these lives, that are sitting back asking the same questions and hoping that someone else answers for them. Speedy has said it over and over. He's hoping that one day a Muslim will be able to answer these questions, to make it make sense. I mean, I was on Shamsi. Shamsi was going live yesterday or this morning, whenever. And I requested, and I was sat there for at least a half an hour, hoping he'd come up and let me up so that I could ask him this simple question, just to let you guys see the answers. I was going to record it as well. The answers of these Muslims, to see if they are willing to make it make sense. That's why I'm saying to you guys, please, please, please. I'm not advocating for you to get drunk. I'm saying enjoy in moderation. But just remember, while you're enjoying a glass of wine and eating pork in a Muslim household somewhere, there's a woman crying because her husband just 434'd her, or she's a child bride 434'd and 65'd. Just remember them. Keep them in your prayers. Keep the Muslim woman in your prayers, because it's them that can change the Muslim man. It's them that can change their circumstances. Don't forget that. There's loads of videos in teaching you. That's right. There's loads of videos teaching you how to strike these women, how to do this to these women, how to do that to these women. Loads and loads of videos. It's crazy. How not to leave marks. I mean, why not just say, don't do that? No. But again, you know, no Muslim has been able to answer these questions, and this is just embarrassing to them. It's an embarrassing topic for them. And, you know, Muslims, if you want to do your research now and go back, find some answers, come back tomorrow, make it make sense, request, and we can do it again tomorrow. And you know, I'm just going to say again, I apologize again to my brothers and sisters that have been hoping for Muslims to answer. I apologize to the Muslims that have been waiting for Muslims to answer. And I apologize to the Muslims that are sitting back there not wanting to answer because they are afraid of this topic. The Quran tells us silence is consent. And if this is true, then by you not requesting and explaining it, you are consenting to it. You are saying that, yes, you agree. Just thank God every day, guys, that you are Christians. Thank God every day. Don't say give me, say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just grateful, grateful, grateful. Let's just be grateful, people. So in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I ask you, Lord, to please bless this live and all those that have been listening in. Open the hearts and minds of these people, Lord. They need you. These people don't know that they need you, but they definitely need you, Lord. They need you to open their eyes. They are holding their eyes shut because they are so afraid of seeing the truth and the light. They're afraid of coming out of their darkness and knowing that you are the answer to all their questions. But Lord, we thank you for these opportunities to present the word to them. And hopefully, Lord, one day they come to you and they submit to you, Lord. In Jesus' name, thank you, Lord. Amen. They're submitting to the devil right now, people. They're submitting to the devil right now. But again, we pray for these people. They can hate us. They can, report us, give us restrictions. We can lose accounts. All of that. Remember, the first thing you do when you're in the darkest part of the tunnel, when the light shines on you, you shut your eyes tighter and you go further back. These people are shutting their eyes tighter, going further back because they're blocked. Now they're blocking their ears. They don't want to hear because they're afraid that if you hear, you can't unhear. And if you see, you can't unsee. And they're dead scared of that because it means that then once you see it, you have to accept it. When I went to work, go to work, we have a saying: if you see it, you own it. If you see it, you own it. Now, if they see it, they can see it. Haram alcohol, dingy diggy prepubescent child, halal. Can't unsee that. Then you've got to ask the questions. Now again, we're planting seeds, people. We're just planting seeds. Okie dokie, guys. If you're not following me again, please, it's on the YouTube channel. It is the Agents 007. If you're not following me on TikTok, follow me. And we have these kind of conversations very often. We ask questions that Muslims struggle with. And these are basic. I'm not asking them to explain Allah and how he's got two right hands. I'm not asking the silly questions. I'm asking honest questions for you to make it make sense. Those that think that this is all blasphemy and attacking, you made a mistake. You've been lied to. This is not blasphemy. This is not attacking. This is me asking questions. I call this live. You can ask Amin. From the time we started this live, I said, I want my life to be real conversations with real Muslims. Real conversations with real Muslims, yet no Muslims are able to answer the real questions because they're going to go back to some other Donald Duck, some Mickey Mouse, some Goofy in the gang, the Dawa gang, and they're going to say, listen, man, can you help us? And we can do it on Discord outside of the lives, and they will get no answers. I spoke to a guy and he said to me, I asked them, they don't have answers. Muslim pastor, would you like to come up and have the last word? Make it make sense? The guy called Muslim pastor, would you like to join? just before I end the live, my man, I'm giving you the last chance. No other Muslim has been able to make it make sense. You, the Muslim pastor. Come on, man. You, the Muslim pastor. No. Told you guys. Muslims cannot answer simple questions, but they can ask about the Trinity. They can't answer why alcohol is bad, but striking your wife good. Lovely jubbly, guys. If you guys think that there's a topic you want me to address, that you want me to have, that will invite Muslims to have conversations and understand how Islam is false, please don't be shy. Just let me know and we can do it from there. Again, these conversations are honest conversations. This is not an attack to anyone.
Hello, what's up, man?
How are you, Akhi?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well, my brother. Are you a Muslim?
Yes.
Man,
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So let me ask you, my brother,
Akbar.
this is the topic today. The topic is, you agree that drinking wine is bad for you, haram?
Haram. Wine with alcohol or without alcohol?
Alcohol, my brother. You think alcohol is bad for you?
Alcohol is bad.
Okay.
Haram.
So watch this now, please. You think eating pork is also bad for you, correct?
You should not do it.
Beautiful. Can you tell me why mustn't you drink alcohol?
Why you shouldn't drink
Why
alcohol?
does Islam say don't drink alcohol?
Because you lose your mind, right?
Okay, so why don't you eat pork?
You lose your masculinity as a man.
So hang on now. You're saying that if you eat pork, you stop being a man?
Yes. Where I'm from, they say you eat pork, you start to be LGBT.
Where are you from?
Not gonna tell you, somewhere in the Middle East.
Okay, so in the Middle East, they eat pork?
No. Pork makes
But
you
hang on.
LGBT.
Okay, so watch this. Have you heard of the Bacha Bazi boys?
What's that? I don't know.
So in Afghanistan, you have all these men that have little boys dancing with them, and they do dingy dingy with these boys, but none of them eat pork.
I'm not from Pakistan or whatever this country is.
But
go ask
Afghanistan
them.
is a Muslim country. It's all Muslims. So none of them eat pork, yet they all dingy dingy little boys.
How do you know that? Have you been there?
No, I haven't. But you see, today we are blessed because we don't live in the time
How
of
do you know?
Because today we have internet, and internet gives us advantages or that Muslims don't have. So we are able to go and see what happens in all these Muslim countries. But that's not my question. Never mind. Let's move on. So you are saying alcohol is bad for you and eating pork is bad for you. Now, can you tell me which is better for you? Which is better for you? Or which is worse? You can decide. Is it better to drink a beer or to beat your wife?
Beating my wife.
So let's use the word striking. So striking your wife. So guys, just those that know what to do, please do it. So let me start again.
It is recommended. It is
Okay,
recommended you strike your wife when she asks you to do so. Some wives like to be struck.
Let me ask the question just 1 second. Just let me give it a quick second. Okay, let me watch this. You are saying, and my question to you is it better for you to drink a glass of wine or to beat your wife, strike your wife? Which is better for you?
Look, no alcohol when your wife asks you to strike. You strike. Some wives like to be striked.
Okay, so you are saying that the woman will come to you and say, strike me.
Haven't you done this to your wife yet?
Are you a Muslim, my brother?
Muslim, yes.
Okay. No, I've never never needed to strike my wife. But I'm
You
asking
need
you
to
now.
you need to start.
Okay, hang on slowly now. So which is better for you? Is it better to eat pork or marry a girl and sleep with her before her first menstruation?
I don't understand, Minister. You asked me now second
Menses.
question.
In the Quran, in Surah 65,
What is
4,
it? What's the name? I don't
talaq,
understand.
talaq.
Talak. Okay.
It says that you can, now remember you said to me now that the wife will ask you to strike her, correct?
Wait. You understand this? Haven't you struck your wife yet?
I said never, brother.
You need to start. I
know
got a
you want me to, but
website.
I'm not a Muslim.
You
I'm
can
not a
get
Muslim.
all the tools.
But I'm not a Muslim. I'm not as disgusting and evil as a Muslim, so I can't do
It's
that.
not. It is spicy.
I'm sure for a Muslim man to say that, it must be. But again, I'm asking you now. So you are saying that the woman will want you to
I
strike
think
her.
this.
But
I
it
think
says to strike her in
pork
case she's
makes you
disobedient.
lose your masculinity.
Okay, and yet most Muslim men walk around in skirts, correct?
You need to stop eating that pork and
But hang
start
on,
striking her.
most Muslim men walk around in dresses, and you are saying that eating pork takes away your masculinity.
Yeah,
You also in the
look
Middle
at
East-
you.
but
Does
in
she
the Middle
strike you?
East-
Maybe
the
she
Middle
strike
East-
you.
In the Middle East now, don't the Muslim men walk around in dresses?
Can you show your back? Maybe she strike you. I don't
Again,
know.
listen carefully to me. In the Middle East, don't Muslim men walk around in dresses?
Don't Muslim what?
The men, the same men that sit down and pee, those Muslim men, the Muslim men, don't they wear dresses in the Middle East?
Yes, we all wear dresses. What are you talking
Okay.
about?
So you are saying that you don't eat pork, yet you dress like a woman, and men in the
Like
West,
Jesus, I did.
So Jesus wore a dress?
Like me, yes.
So can you show me where Jesus wore a dress? I mean, I know
He
that,
wear
I know
the
that
same.
Muhammad,
It's called the thobe.
I know that Muhammad, he used to wear Aisha's clothes. So now I'm asking you, where do I go now to understand
No.
this?
I wear like Jesus wear.
Okay, so you wear a dress like Muhammad. Don't talk about
Like
Jesus.
no,
You don't know Jesus.
like Jesus.
You don't know Jesus.
What do you mean? I don't know him. He's a Middle Eastern man.
I'm sure
know him
think he's
better than me?
Palestinian too. Did Jesus speak Arabic?
He speak Aramaic. It's similar.
So he didn't speak Arabic.
Arabic and Aramaic, same thing.
So if I speak French and I speak English, is that same thing?
No, but if you speak American and you speak English, that's the same thing.
You see, you're trying to be smart, but we know you're Muslim and you can't be smart. Now let's go back to right to the beginning. You said
Why you think Muslim can't be smart?
Because you guys are cousin marriages, man. You dumb yourself down by marrying your first cousin, and that just shows that the lowest IQs are Muslim people. I mean, your IQ is probably between 7.
Who done this study?
Again, it wasn't a Muslim.
John from
Muslim,
New York.
A Muslim wouldn't know what it was. If you said IQ, he thought you go, well, man, is that a rapper? Is that Ice Cube's brother?
Okay, answer this. What 1 + 1? You're smart.
No, I'm not a Muslim.
No, you tell me, what is 1 + 1?
I don't know. You tell me.
Without Muslim invented way of calculating, you can't know.
Okay, so watch this. Beautiful. Watch this.
Confused.
Watch. Let me see if you agree now. So you know how to count, correct? Can you tell me?
No, I don't.
Hang on slowly. 6-year-old, a 6-year-old. When you're counting the years of a child, when you count to 6, is that child an adult or a child?
How can you say is that child an adult or child? You already made him child.
6-year-old.
Okay.
6-year-old, is a 6-year-old an adult or is a 6-year-old a child?
Counting the 0 after the number or not?
Again, try to be smart now and think with your brain, not with your Muslim head. Listen again. A 6-year-old, is a 6-year-old because you can count to 6.
You said
a
a
6-year-old
child
an adult?
6 years old.
Or is a 6-year-old and a child?
You said the child 6 years old. Is he a child or
Is
adult?
a 6-year-old a child, or is a 6-year-old an adult?
Of course, it is a child, my friend.
So Muhammad married a child. Is a 9-year-old
No,
is a
no.
9-year-old an adult, or is a 9-year-old a child?
You're
Come on,
mistaken.
use your intelligent
You're
brain now. Try to
mistaken.
count.
You're mistaken. Look at this. Look at
Okay.
this.
I'm looking.
Use your brain first.
I'm
Right.
trying to, but I'm talking to you. So
When you use your brain, you can't apply rules from 2000,
okay, so how
1500 years
old-
ago
so
till
then
today.
how old was Aisha?
Mistake.
How old was Aisha? Because you can't drink wine in Islam, but you can take a 6-year-old and you can marry her, correct?
No, no, no. You cannot do any of these. No.
Hang on, did Muhammad do that?
That was a long time ago. I do not know.
Did, yes or no?
I do not know is what I'm telling you.
Did Muhammad marry a 6-year-old?
Mary? No, that is wrong. No, he didn't.
He didn't. Are you a Sunni?
Yeah, Masuni.
So if I can show you Bukhari and all the scholars say that she was 6 years old when he married her. So listen, don't drink alcohol, but find yourself a 6-year-old and marry them like Muhammad.
Look at this. Look at this. A math and calculation started after Aisha. How do they know how to calculate numbers?
So hang on. They didn't know how to count before Aisha?
I think math started after.
So nobody before Aisha knew how to count.
They don't know how to count. They know one, only one. Maybe. You see? That's your issue. You don't understand like how
Just so I understand.
Muslims invented counting and numbers
They
and
only
math
invented it
after.
hang on, they only invented it after Aisha, correct?
Yeah. Look, what is
So how old was Muhammad? Hang on,
Al-Khawarizmi.
how old was Muhammad when he
You need
became
to
a
know.
prophet?
You don't understand. Al-Khawarizmi is way
How
after
old
Aisha.
was Muhammad when he became a prophet?
They calculate different calculation. What we say is
How
like just,
old was Muhammad when he became
I
a
don't
prophet?
know. You have to go search it.
So when I search it, that means that they knew how to count if I can find an answer.
Look, the counting is not like absolute. You understand?
absolute.
They count by moons,
They count by moons.
whatever. Yeah.
Can you show me any evidence that they count moons?
Yes. So you remember they say the god of the moon.
Yeah, that's Hubal, Allah.
Yeah, Allah is the god of the moon. So that's one thing. So you need to understand like counting started after. Like, how can we say this?
Did you
That's
just say
wrong.
Allah is that Hubal is the Allah?
No, Allah is the god of the moon.
So Allah is the God of the moon.
Yes.
So Allah is the moon God.
The god of the moon, the god of the sun, the god of the universe. You understand?
So
Okay.
before Muhammad, there was no one that knew how to count.
Well, let me ask you. You have been asking me a lot of questions. I haven't asked.
I'm trying to
any.
understand. You said Aisha was.
I answered all your questions, though.
No, but you're talking rubbish. But you're talking nonsense. Because see, listen, can you tell me then, if they didn't know how to count at the time of Muhammad of Aisha, they didn't know how to count.
No, I
When-
said I didn't say
when
this.
did they
I
learn
said
how to
I
count?
said math and calculation started after by Muslim scholars, way after.
Way
So
after.
how do you
many
say
hundreds of years?
6 years old? I don't understand. So that's the thing. The other
I
thing
can
is
show
this.
you.
I
Let
want to
me show
know.
it to
I
you.
want to know this. So,
Let me
I wanna know.
show you. Wait. Let's see if it's
man,
true.
you ask me questions. You don't allow me to ask.
Hang on. Let's see if it's true, man.
I've answered
it's
how many
true.
questions of yours?
I don't care. You came to my life. where I have a
Maybe
topic.
7 or 8.
I don't care. You can answer more. I want you to see this. Wait one
You
second.
scared of
I'm very
answering.
scared. Watch
Okay.
this. Watch this. I want you to read. Do you know how to read, or you like Muhammad? Let's see. Sahih Bukhari 5133. Is Sahih, what is the meaning of Sahih?
Look, I don't read hadiths a lot. I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm
What are you
getting to
talking
the
about?
right place. I'm going to teach you. What does Sahih
No,
mean?
no. I don't like read it. If I wanted to read, I would go read book. I'm here to talk. You understand?
Okay, you want to read your Quran then? Let's go to the Quran. In 65:4, can you tell me
I told you if I want to read, I would read a book. I
what
wouldn't come here.
is, hang on a second, when we looking at what does this word mean? Layam nahidda. Lam yahidna. What does that mean?
You go search it, my friend. Why are
It's
you
on the
like
screen.
asking me? You're supposed to teach me, not ask me.
Okay, I'm teaching you. Your
Okay,
God.
whatever, man. I
hang
don't
on,
want
you
to
said
talk
I must
about
teach
this.
you.
No,
Let me teach you.
no,
My topic.
no. Thank
My
you.
topic. Let me tell you what
Go
my topic
eat
is.
pork and don't strike your wife.
My topic is that you Muslims are allowed to sleep and dingy penetrate little girls like 6-year-olds, like Muhammad, 6 years.
That's
9 years.
Islamophobe.
That's Islam,
Islamophobe.
yes. So watch this.
Islamophobe.
again-
Yeah.
Okay, you know
That's
you need
Islam.
to go. Why is it whenever I want to leave, that's when people start wanting to come up, man? This is crazy. Double, how are you, sir? Double, you there? Double XL. Must be a big dude. Can't make this up, guys. Allah did. Nobody knew how to read until after Aisha. When I say you guys know what to do, it means just a screen recording. Record the person. When I say you know what to do, that means somebody please screen record, because that'll be a clip. I don't know, Double XL is gone. Let me just let him go. Not sure what's going on. But anyway, at least we had one Muslim come up again. No, again, notice how they answer the question. Notice how he answered the question, that before Aisha was born, they didn't know how to read. The Sahaba, the Muslim scholars only learned how to count after Aisha, long after Aisha. See that's why that little clip for 2 hours, that little clip is worth it. That little clip just to show that what the Muslim says is worth it. Wow. So before Aisha, man, nobody knew how to count. He said Aisha was 60, he left a 0. Oh my Lord. Oh man. Anyways, doesn't seem like there's any other Muslims that want to join. I again just say thank you. And you know, no Muslim knew how to count before Aisha. Superman.
Wow, I want to ask my question.
No, man. Listen, you showed everybody that you're not the sharpest knife in the.
I don't
in the
care
kitchen.
about anybody.
Oh my goodness, man! Come on, man. Anyway, listen.
I wanna
agree-
know why
agree
your
that in
God
your
eat his
Quran-
creations.
You agreed that in your Quran you can strike your wife, correct?
Okay, I'm not gonna ask. I have to go. I came here to
Okay.
ask.
Okay. Again, answer just 2 quick questions. In your Quran,
I
are you allowed
answered
to
many of
strike
your
wife?
questions.
Are you allowed to strike your wife in Islam? Now we know why they say one God, one God. They didn't learn how to say 2 or 3. We believe. One God, one God. I've seen seagulls with more brain. Oh my goodness. Anyways, man. You see, guys, even this one person makes it just, you know, No, yeah, man, nobody else could count. Nowhere else in the entire world, man, nobody could count except after what's her name? Aisha. Aisha. Aisha, there's 100 men outside your door. No, there's only one. There's more than one, Aisha. There's a whole line of people. Nope, we don't know how to count. Later we'll know how to count. There's only one. How many wives did Muhammad have? One. No, there's like 9 or 11. Nuh-uh, we don't know how to count. There's only one. Whose turn is it to be with Muhammad? I think it's wife number 4. Nah, that's number 1. Because they're all wives number 1. Man, this is what happens when your brain gets zooted. When the jinn come and zoot your mind, this is how you answer. God bless you guys. Hope you enjoyed, even though, it was limited to who came in. Just stay safe, stay in prayer. And as always, humble yourselves, remove the hate, the pride, the ego. Put Christ first. Open your Bibles. We read a lot of books, but we forget to read the Bible. As I said before, there's apps. You just put the app on, Bible Gateway. You can listen to the Bible while you're doing stuff. You're going to the gym, you're going shopping, you're walking the street, you're taking the dog out, whatever. You can listen to the Bible, during your day. I am just grateful that I have a chance to read my Bible with you, even though it's the Psalms now. And while I'm doing other stuff, I try my best to listen to the Bible, to go through chapter and verse, and try to remain in Christ. Because again, people, there's lots of temptations. You are tempted with food, alcohol, TV, soaps, drama, gossip. We are tempted with a lot of things that you don't actually consider temptation. But we're so eager to follow all the drama and all this stuff that's going about. It's a sign of a form of addiction. And we need to stay away from this kind of addiction because it takes our minds off Christ. I'm not saying be fanatical and crazy and a Bible basher and this, that, and the other. All I'm saying is that know Christ. Represent him, present him. When you're talking to people, let them know that you're Christian just by your behavior, because we are taught to be different, not as these pagans. Stay sober, have sober mind. Again, please don't misunderstand me when I talk about drinking alcohol. I can say that, you can have a glass of wine. I'm not saying drink a bottle of wine, but I'm saying just, be sober mind. Enjoy your wine, enjoy your beer, enjoy whatever the heck you're drinking, but stay of sober mind. Don't be a glutton. Don't be all this, because again, notice with all this drama going on with these cowards and these Muslims, each time there's drama, the Christians are, running around trying to find this drama, because again, the mafia boss Maliki, he's got all these guys on their knees, and we're loving it, and we get consumed by it, and we listen to it for hours, and we're clipping it, and we're doing this. Pick up your Bibles. That drama, I told you, Muslims will be fighting each other even if there's only Muslims on this app. Because that's how Muslims are. That's why you'll notice my simple topics causes them to stutter. Alcohol is haram, but you can strike your wife. Pork is haram, but you can dingy a child that has yet to menstruate. You can own slaves, but please don't drink wine with your dinner. And then what do? We go to these drama lives, watching these people, these grown men get humiliated. These are cuckolds. They are humiliated. They are embarrassing. And that's Islam. We're showing everybody that we don't have to be there. We can walk away from TikTok today and the drama will continue, because Muslims are just like that. It's in their DNA to be hateful and to attack. They're fighting with each other. All my African. Now, this is the joke, guys. The North Africans of lighter skin who think they're Arab, the lighter skin, they that think that they are Arab, right? These lighter skins are mocking the darker skinned Africans and sitting with people that calls them the N-word. Like Sid. Sid is a cuckold to Malik. Sid is on his knees for Malik. Malik just walks in the room. Sid drops to his knees for his mighty Maliki. And then when Malik shows his true self using the N word and being an absolute, Sid is still on his knees. He thinks he's at Gobble and Go. That's Sid, people. Sid that wants to pretend he's boycotting the lives. Sid is on his knees for his Muslim brother. This is why when they prostrating to Mecca, they got the big brown eye facing the guy behind them. And Malik is standing behind Sid. When Sid prostrates, Malik sees an opening and he takes it. He takes it because Sid is on his knees. Sid is there rubbing shoulder to shoulder with people that are disgusting and evil, and he's pretending like he's one of these, dawah guys. He's a joke. An absolute joke. Rubbing shoulders with them while he's on his knees for them. He's a cuckold on his knees. You might as well just have that rainbow flag in your hand, my man. Fly it, because like one of your hadith says, end of times, you will have this rainbow flag stuck in your buttocks. That's what it says in the hadith. We don't need to be on any of the Muslim lives. They're cooking each other because that's how Islam is. If the last Muslim on earth was by himself, he'd sit with 2 swords in his hands. They're on their knees for the mafia bosses, Maliki. When he walks in the room, you'll notice he takes over the room and they all sit quietly, like little cuckolds, sitting there watching. That's an embarrassment. That's right, DJ. Then they set you. Then they get upset when you call them out. Exactly. Then they'll run and say, "Oh, he's a blasphemer. Oh, he's this." No, you cuckold. You're on your knees for these people. You prostrating with your big brown eye in front of his face, and he sees an opening. He's gonna take it because you're on your knees for him. You and speaking Muslim and all these others that are on their knees. Told you they don't need us, guys. They don't need us. We're sitting back with popcorn. We can sit back with popcorn, having a laugh, watching them. Watching them. Look what he says. Know your knees with your dogs. See me and my brother, I'm flying solo. I can sit over here and I can still call you out. You need your Maliki, because you're on your knees for Maliki. Coward. That's what you are, Sid. You weak. You left Duron. You left Duron. Duron, a heart of gold for those cowards, for those woofs, for those donkeys. You left him for them. You cooked and embarrassed, bro. Yeah, why aren't you leashed up? Or has he got you on a leash? Is he walking you today? Are you woof and he's making you pee against a tree? In fact, he's probably peeing against one of the pillars. Aren't you? No, you guys are evil. You guys blaspheme. No, man. Get on your knees, boy. Get on your knees. Watch when Malik opens the room. When he walks in any of your lives, you guys fall to your knees. Cowards. You calling out Muslim cousin? My Muslim cousin? You calling him out? That's right. Get on your knees, boy. Can't believe you walked away from Duron that opened his heart to you, for a guy that is who's using you. You like the rubber he uses, and when he's done, he just takes it off and throws it aside because that's what he's done to everybody else. So just fall in line, boy. Fall in line. Fall in line, boy. Get on your knees and fall in line. Don't you worry. Comedy Central or one of these other dogs will come and they'll ride you like the zoot. You'll be zooted next. That's what it feels like, isn't it? You will be zooted next. In fact, the next hadith we'll get is not the how I'm not going to mention names because that might be hurtful, because one of the Sahaba said that the zoot visited Muhammad, so we can't say that. We can't say that. Ooh, we can't say he was zooted because that is so sad. Oh, so bad. Ooh, we can't say that. But guess what, Sid? You are being zooted by your Muslim brothers. But again, you guys are used to this cousin love. So he's riding you, boy. He's saying, giddy up. You being zooted right now, Sid. So that's right. Stay with them. Stay with them, even though they're calling all of us non-whites, all of us Africans, all of us the N-word. They're showing their true colors. And as an African, you an African pretending to be an Arab, you're a disgrace to Africa. You're a disgrace to Africa. That's why you will always be a left shoulder. Even though you have lighter skin, you're still a left shoulder. You will never be anything else to them but an African. Oh, I speak Arabic, so it makes me Arab. You got zooted. You got zooted, boy. Now run back to those lives and tell them about James blasphemed. He's talked about the zooting of our prophet. Now I'm talking about you getting zooted by your boys. Boycott them. Boycott them. Why? So that we can have internal fightings. Notice, zooted. Notice that none of us need to be with the Muslims, and you guys are just attacking each. And you guys are just attacking each other. Notice there's no Christians there anymore. You guys are just fighting each other like the cowards you guys are. Cowards, every single one of you. Yeah, that's right. You're just a mob, a gang of people that get together and you try to be something that you're not. That's all, man. That's all you are. You're nothing, zero. You got zooted today on my live. Get some Vaseline, bro. You got zooted. God bless, guys. Take care. I can't. Tomorrow's another day. Maybe by then Sid will be able to sit again. Because right now, the jinns, they've got a long line waiting. I wonder who made a circle and has to sit in that circle. See what you want to do. See, this is it. Put on my camera. What do you want? You want to date me, Sid? You want to date me? Dude, I'm not going to zoot you like Muhammad was zooted by the zoots. So don't you try to date me and want to see my face. Okay? This is not no dating game. This is not a dating game. You stay in your lane. You stay in your lane, little zooted boy. Stay in your lane. Don't you dare try to want to see me. What you want to see my face for? What you want to see my face for? Yeah, Sid thinks this is Tinder for zooteds. For the al-zoot. No, my boy. I'm not here to date you, Sid. I'm here to expose you. So get on your knees for Maliki and all those other boys, Central and all those other boys. Get on your knees. Get on your knees, Sid. That's where you belong, on your knees, begging them, please. You just got zooted. Take care. And guys, when you see this drama, notice Muslim against Muslim. Muslim against Muslim. I don't need content, Sid. See that you're stupid. This shows you that's why your parents are probably first cousins, like all you Muslims. I don't need Muslims to have content. I've got the content. I need Muslims to refute it. But again, what does Islam teach? It says their silence is consent. So according to you, Sid, alcohol bad, but dingy, a little girl like Muhammad raped Aisha, that's okay. Come play games with me, Sid. Guys, I went off on a little, yeah, that's right. You're right, DJ. DJ, man, God bless you. Guys, God bless you. Just remember, Sid is an example of what not to be. What not to be. And Sid, you're always welcome back. Take care. God bless.